Hey everybody, and welcome back to Droobz Vids, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at the Cloud Strife Another Form Variant Bring Arts figure. So this is actually my first Bring Arts figure. This figure is actually based off of illustrations by Tetsuya Nomura, which is a Square Enix illustrator. And yeah, this figure is a little pricey. It'll run you about $90, but man, this thing is cool. Like, the box just really does scream quality. If you look at it, very nice matte finish. Got some cool looking graphics here. These doesn't even look like the figures. It more or less looks kind of CG, if you would. Really cool. And you just got the nice little Cloud Strife there on the side. So yeah, I guess there's nothing else to do but go ahead and crack into this figure here. So let's go ahead and break the seal on this and see what we get inside. So usually we'll have some kind of instruction manual. I wonder if Bring Arts comes. Yes, they do. Answer my own question right there. So we got a little instruction booklet here, and it seems like it's all in Japanese, but they do have pictures, so it's still easy to see what's going on. So that way you do have a good idea of how to take off the hands, the cloak. He's got a little wing there, how to put the Buster Sword on. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and put this to the side in case we do need it. And let's check this figure out, get him out the blister pack here. Oh, that's nice. That background there, that is really cool. Definitely dig that. I think you could probably just remove this if you want and kind of put it behind him and pose him like in an action pose or something cool. That'd be really neat. I kind of dig that. You can just put it up like that. That is cool. And you know, guys, especially this being my first Bring Arts figure, you know, after we do all the review of the actual figure itself and the components, hit you with some poses, we'll go ahead and discuss if it's actually worth that price tag. So we've got a few different blister packs here, and at the very bottom, looks like we just kind of have our stand and base in there. So yeah, I mean, it's just a kind of plain plastic base there, nothing to write home about. It's not bad. I mean, you know, at least you get a base, unlike some certain figures that we get. But yeah, you have a good base, and this is cool that the arm here isn't really that stiff, so that's pretty nice, because sometimes you get arms that are really stiff and you gotta kind of work it when you first get it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And you get these little hooks here, so I'm guessing there is no peg in the back for him, so this would just kind of wrap around your figure there. Not the cleanest of looks, but you know, you don't have that extra hole in the back either. And they do give you two of them, so I guess if you break one, you know, you got an extra, so that's nice. And the original illustrations of this Cloud, like I was talking about earlier, was kind of him just, you know, if you wandered off into another world. And it's funny because, you know, he kind of gives you that, you know, Kingdom Hearts type of vibe, which is really cool. But man, yeah, because I know a lot of Bring Arts figures are Kingdom Hearts related, but this thing is gnarly. So we got some plastic around him to protect that paint, which is always a nice thing. And look at that, he's got this kind of demon wing going there, and it's already attached. I'm not sure if you could detach it. You probably can, but if you see back here, it does have that joint, so if you detach it, that'll probably still be there, or there'll at least be a hole there, so keep that in mind. You got his nice normal shoulder pad you generally see Cloud with, and doesn't get in the way either, so that's cool too. Oh, his cape is actually on a joint as well for some awesome dynamic posing. You can see it right in there, so that's really nice. And it looks like we actually got another piece of the cape, or just a different part of the cape there to use instead of this one, so that's cool. Just taking a look at this cape, looks pretty good. I don't think it looks as good as Guts from Berserk, but it's still a pretty decent looking cape. Can't really complain there. I think I do like this more kind of opened up one better. Definitely think this is a cooler version of the cape. His face and hair sculpt came out really well. I think they did a great job there. Looks pretty nice and spiky as you would want it to be. And looking at his armor, so we got this little leg cover here, and it's kind of interesting because it goes from this metallic down to a blue, and it's kind of fades into the same color as the pants. And he's got this cool hand here with like these almost talon like fingers that are gold. looks really nice. And since we're here, we're going to check out some articulation points. So the head, don't really get too much because he's kind of tucked behind that little cowl, if you would. So if this is removable, which it may be, you know, we could decapitate him. Yeah, so yeah, we can remove that, and we could get a little bit more articulation there. So that's nice to see that that's possible, but you don't get too much in movement going up and down there, just really kind of left to right stuff. He's got a very tiny bit of ab crunch there, as you guys could see. As far as the arms go, fairly limited on this side because you do have a shoulder pad, but you do have the bicep at the top there, as well as at the elbow you have a joint, and then you got it at the wrist too. So that is nice there for the arms. No double joints as far as that goes. And then on the legs, you got your groin movement, which is pretty decent, and nothing at the upper thigh, but at the knees, you got really chunky joints there, not double joints, so they'd only go so far back, which, you know, is not necessarily a bad thing, because Cloud's not, I don't know, he's pretty agile, but he's not the most agile character ever. You know, he can move around, don't get me wrong, but there are other characters that move around a lot more. And then as far as the feet go, he just has a little bit in the ankle, nothing at the toes. So definitely keep that in mind if you guys are looking at this figure and you're shopping around, and posability is one of your main focuses on your figures. So overall, this is a pretty decent looking figure. I quite like how that looks. It's pretty awesome. Definitely a very cool styling of Cloud Strife there. So we got a very limited selection of accessories. Not only do we get that extra part of the cape there that we could swap out, which is cool. We got 4 hands. You know, typically you see a ton of hands in figures, and this one we only got 4. So we got 2 of the regular ones, and like you guys saw, he has those talons on the other hand, so you got some open hands, and I'm guessing this one is the one for his Buster Sword. So, you know, definitely got to be using that hand there. And speaking of Buster Sword, that is the only other item in the box, and this thing does look pretty cool. So just taking a quick look at the sword there, it's all wrapped up in bandages, and yeah, that's a nice looking sword. I think they did a fantastic paint job on that sword. Looks really good, especially this little bit here. It's kind of like a soft material, so it does move around a little bit, kind of gives you that added effect of, you know, kind of a real bandage around it, but none of the rest of the bandage moves. It's all kind of molded into it. So yeah, that's a nice little touch there, and I'm not sure if the hilt is removable. It doesn't seem to be. Definitely a cool looking sword. So yeah, I mean, not the longest review ever as far as figures go. There's not a whole lot of accessories to talk about. I mean, paint looks good, figure actually looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap a couple of these parts out, add the sword, maybe swap the cape. We'll see what happens. Hit you guys with a few poses, and I'll see you in a minute.
All eyes on the way I vibe when I walk into the room. Wind blows underneath the soles of my brand new pair of shoes. I got the attention. I'm on a mission. No.
So there you have it, folks. That was the Cloud Strife Another Form Variant Bring Arts figure. And this is, you know, a Square Enix action figure. This is the first one I actually picked up, and you know what? Originally I thought I would like to get another one. I wasn't going to get Sephiroth, but if they made a Tifa, I would have picked that up. However, after actually trying to pose this and swap parts out and stuff, I kind of changed my mind. And for a figure that costs $90, I don't really think that it's worth it at that price point. If you could find this on sale for like $60, I'd probably bite at that price point, but I think $90 is a stretch, especially for what you get. You don't really get a whole lot of accessories. You get a few different hands and his Buster Sword and the stand is completely worthless. I mean, it's terrible. I couldn't even balance the weight of Cloud on the stand. Like, you can't get him into a really dynamic pose off the ground, and I don't understand. Like, the stand is just, it's not great. It's not good at all. I mean, maybe if you were able to get a different stand, you could do that, but The stand that it comes with, not good at all. You get a lack of accessories, like I said. You get no extra face plates. I mean, okay, Cloud has like 1, maybe 2 facial expressions, but you know, it would have been nice to at least have that second one. I mean, another head sculpt, maybe, I don't know, something else. But yeah, you don't get a whole lot for what you're paying for. And the joints, I mean, I understand when figures are new, they could be stiff, but these were all over the place. Some joints were stiff, some joints were loose. You got parts like swapping the hands out. Some hands were really loose, some hands are just overly tight. You couldn't even get it onto the peg. I had to really work it in there. And after I took the head off the one time to remove the bit of the scarf there that covers the bottom half of his face, like his head is just forever loose now on that peg. It doesn't sit on there like correctly anymore. It's weird. I mean, you could flip him upside down or whatever and his head doesn't fall off, but you just slightly move it a little bit and beheaded Cloud. I mean, this thing looks awesome. I like the figure. The figure looks great, but it's just like everything about this figure isn't great. Aside from the fact that it's Cloud in a very unique looking setting. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are looking at this figure, I can't recommend it just based on, maybe I got a bad one or something, but if you guys do have this, let me know in the comments below how your figure is. But yeah, you know, for the time being, I definitely can't recommend this, and I'm probably not gonna get another Bring Arts based off that fact. And you know, I did put him back in the box, as you guys could see here, because I don't know, like, I don't really trust the stand. He doesn't really stand up by himself either, so I don't want to display him out just so he's gonna fall over and get all messed up. So yeah, he's just gonna stay in this nice box. Yeah, kind of disappointed. I mean, 90 bucks and this figure's, I mean, I don't know, 60 might even, yeah, no, 60 is good. That's about the price of a SH fig art, but I still think, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking, but all I know is that not a big fan of the Bring Arts line of figures, especially after opening this one. And like I said, if you guys do have this particular Bring Arts or other ones, let me know your guys' experience with those. But since I am a sucker for cool characters, if they did come out with a Tifa that's like in another form variant, I might bite. But until then, I don't see it happening. This is my first and possibly last Bring Arts figure. So like I said, guys, don't waste your time, don't waste your money. You know, I've opened quite a few figures, HH Fig Arts, Figmas, Nendoroids, Super Action statues. I mean, yeah, this ain't it. This is not it. Unless you are just a super huge fan of Final Fantasy, Square Enix stuff, Cloud Strife in general. But yeah, I would stay away from this. But that is purely 100% my opinion. It's very subjective, you know, take it with a grain of salt. If you guys have this figure and you love it, just let me know. You know, maybe, like I said, I got a bad one or something like that, but yeah, definitely not for me. And it really sucks because I was looking forward to opening this one because I was like, oh man, this is going to be so cool. Really like how he looks in this, and you know, I could put him in some super awesome poses, but that didn't happen. And here we are talking about it being back in the box. It's very unfortunate. So there you have it, folks. That was the Bring Arts Cloud, another form variant. A very cool concept. I think it really missed the mark for me personally as far as figures go. But once again, let me know down in the comments below if you spent $90 on this figure and were disappointed with it as well. And don't forget to check out the merch link down in the description below if you guys fancy yourself getting a cool t-shirt, some stickers, or even a tote bag. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. So if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video.